Good morning, Naledi, to our viewers as well. Certainly a big day in the capital city. We expect the election of a new leader to take over the reins from, of course, the former mayor who had a very short stint at the helm, that being Dr. Murunwa Makwarela. So today, another full day in council as the various political parties will, of course, be making their crosses, or so we hope it will be crosses this time, to, of course, vote in a new mayor. And as we speak right now, they are in meetings, just finalizing some of those finer details before they go into this much important special council meeting here at Tshwane House in the capital city. And just to remind, of course, our viewers who the candidates are that might be nominated. Of course, the multi-party coalition has been consistent that they are putting forward the name of Celia Brink, who is a former MP and who previously also worked here in the city of Tshwane under Solim Simanga. 2019 was the last time, of course, before they were ousted. He worked as a councillor. He was also part of the mayoral committee, 35 years of age. So he is the candidate from, of course, the multi-party coalition side. The ANC and EFF side, there it seems like there's still a little bit of unsurety, but the name that we have received is a PAC member. It's also a one-seat candidate, and that is Mulwantwa Tabadi, who they apparently will be nominating in council, but there is still a little bit of unhappiness about this particular candidate that they did decide on. We've heard that not everyone is happy, but of course they don't have many options at this juncture, as both the EFF and the ANC obviously can't agree on nominating their own candidates. We asked the EFF yesterday, why are they not putting forward a candidate? And we heard there, of course, in that interview where the EFF's Tshwane chairperson, Obakeng Ramabodu, said that they can't agree with the ANC. It seems like there is a little bit of a power tussle between these two big opposition parties in the Tshwane Council. So, so far the name is that of Mulwantwa Tabadi. It remains to be seen whether that is the name that they're going to, of course, nominate when the nomination process starts, when council officially starts. That is around 10 o'clock. Naledi, but as council is supposed to start at 10 o'clock, normally when we have these big elections taking place in the Tshwane Council, there's a lot of delays, there's a lot of adjournments, there's a lot of technicalities, and there's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of tension that is order of the day that actually shapes the atmosphere in council. So we can just today hope and pray that everybody will behave, everybody will abide by the rules, will follow the guidelines by the IEC that is obviously here to facilitate the whole election process. You know what happened on Monday with the election of the speaker, those 69 spoiled ballots by, of course, the members of the Democratic Alliance there, and the election that had to the first round that had to be nullified, disqualified because of some of the unlawful activity from members of the DA who kept on revealing who they voted for, violating, of course, the IEC secret ballot rule. So one can just hope that today they will abide by the rules, they will respect the country's constitution, and they will respect the IEC's Electoral Act, in particular when it comes to the secrecy issue. You'd remember yesterday the EFF went to the police, they opened a case of fraud, and they feel that the DA, of course, violated the country's constitution. Yesterday we spoke to the DA asking them, do they have another trick up their sleeves, or are they going to abide by the rules? And they defended what they did on Monday, saying that all they wanted to do was to make sure that their members obviously, vote along party lines, and their members, do the right thing. They honor their constituency instead of voting with the ANC and the EFF. But you would know that there is still a whole lot of tension that is brewing within the Democratic Alliance over the whole nomination of Celia Brink, many of them being unhappy, saying that one of them who've been in the capital city should have been nominated for the mayoral position. And then there's the issues of Action SA. You know what happened to Nkele earlier this week, Nkele Molapu, who was expelled. We've heard that more of their PR councillors have received expulsion letters. So it remains to be seen whether they will be sworn in today, whether that exchange will happen today in council, and what the numbers will look like. Ultimately, it is a numbers game. Of course, the multi-party coalition still has the numbers compared to the EFF ANC side. But the fact that there is so much animosity within Action SA, so much unhappiness within the DA, that ultimately influences the outcome of the results. And that is what the ANC and the EFF are hoping for,
right,
capitalizing on that broken relationship, hoping that that can tilt in their desired direction.
Let me step in there, Patricia, because I think what's quite interesting is you talk about all the moving parts within council that are going to be contributing factors to what happens when the city of Tshwane elects a mayor today. But on the outskirts of this, you also have the ANC leading the Buya Tshwane People's March, calling for political stability within the city and calling for a resumption of smooth services for the people of Tshwane. What is that going to look like today?
Well, we heard the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula as he was, of course, launching this particular march, and that was on Wednesday, and really just highlighting the details. The march, you would know, is starting from Marabastad here in Pretoria. So it is expected to be a day of multiple activity, a hive of activity. The DA already expressing concern. They have actually asked the Speaker to postpone today's mayoral elections. The DA saying that they fear that there might be acts of intimidation. They feel that the ANC's march is strategically placed to make sure that they put pressure on the councillors here to vote in the ANC's preferred direction. That is, of course, what the DA was implying yesterday, saying that they were hoping that one activity can be focused on at a time. As you would know, that the ANC group will be marching to Tshwane House, and ultimately the ANC is saying enough is enough. They have been quiet, they have been diplomatic for long enough about the state of poor service delivery in the capital city, also saying that people, in particular in the townships, are expressing a lot of unhappiness, and they feel that they are being neglected, but also expressing the view that it's not just the people in the townships, it's the whole of the capital city. The state of service delivery has deteriorated significantly in the past 7 years, and it is on the background of that sentiment that the ANC has mobilized, and they decided they're going to make their mark here today. They're going to take a bold stand and they want the people of Tshwane to join them, stand in solidarity, and put, of course, pressure on the DA, saying that it's time for the DA to step aside and give another political party a chance to take over the reins here in the capital city, in particular following the AG's scathing report, the rating agencies that have downgraded the municipality, and all the other complaints that we have seen emerging from the leadership of the multi-party coalition. So that is interesting to see how exactly will these two activities, these two events, weave in together, merge in together, and what exactly will the multi-party coalition partners do, as they've already expressed concern and saying that they feel that this is unfair and it's going to make things a bit difficult. But of course, it's a hive of police. Police are keeping a very tight eye on Tshwane. It's police around. There's a lot of nyalas. So you can imagine what is about to play out here in the capital city. The ANC also made it very clear that this is not a show of relevance or a show of force ahead of the EFF's national shutdown, but this is an activity that they long have been planning.
All right.